What's up, everyone? I hope that y'all are having a blessed day. I wanted to make a video today to talk to you about endurance, perseverance. How do you keep going when all feels lost? How do you get up and keep going every single time you get knocked down in this battle that we call life? So I have been through a tremendous amount in my life. I've had to start over several times. And I'm here to tell you that it does get easier when you really get the wind knocked out of you in life, when the wind gets taken from your sails. It hurts. And sometimes it feels like you're never going to see the sun again. But I am here to tell you that the rain must stop. The sun will come out again in the morning, and you have to keep going no matter what, no matter how difficult or impossible your situation seems or feels. You have to keep going. Even when you feel like you've lost everything, you have to keep going. So let's talk about how we do that. First and foremost, I am speaking from experience. Again, I have had the wind taken out of my sails. I have been broken down to my hands and knees in this life. And I've had to sit up on my knees and look up and go, what the hell just happened? And what do I do now? Okay. So I'm only talking to you about what has been helpful to me and how I persevere and how I find my endurance and I keep going every time I get the wind knocked out of me by life. So first and foremost, when that happens to you, when you receive that gut punch, whatever it may be, you lost the job, you lost the spouse, you lost money, you fell on an illness that you didn't see coming, and now you've got to fight your way back to health so that you can keep going. Whatever it is, the first thing that you have to do is acknowledge that thing or that instance, whatever it is that hit you in the gut and that hurt you and broke you down to your hands and knees. Ignoring it will not help. I'm telling you right now, that is not the answer. You cannot ignore your emotions. You can't ignore what is. You have to acknowledge it and you have to be mindful of it. It doesn't mean that you have to let it win over you. It doesn't mean that because that thing happened, it is the end. But you must acknowledge and be mindful of what has happened and what you are going through and what is likely to happen as a result of that. But you can't ignore it. Something that I learned a long time ago as a result of my experiences in the SEAL teams and losing so many of my friends is that grief is very real. And it is one of the most powerful experiences that you will go through. And no matter how strong you are, no matter how big and tough and talented and positive you are, you don't get to decide when grief is finished with you. Grief decides when it is finished with you. And so your job navigating grief is to be mindful and to surrender. You have to allow the grief to have its way with you. Whether you're talking about grieving, the loss of a person that exited your life, either voluntarily or by way of something horrible like death, whether you're talking about grieving the loss of a job, whether you're talking about grieving the loss of your wealth, whatever it may be. Grief is grief, and it decides when it is finished with you. It is not the other way around. You have to learn how to surrender and allow those emotions to flow through you and have their way with you. If you try to fight, so this is something that I talk to veterans about all the time. So post-traumatic stress, in my opinion, is a form of grief. And if you try to fight post-traumatic stress, or if you try to fight grief, it will whip the ever-loving shit out of you every single time. Rather, you have to learn how to surrender and allow it to have its way with you. And you have to be extremely mindful of yourself, what's going on in here and up here, as that grief is having its way with you. Because grief isn't there to destroy you. It's not. It feels like it sometimes, but I'm telling you right now, it is not. Grief is a teacher in more than one way. So you have to allow yourself to surrender to what is and go through the emotion. The emotion is working on you and it's working for you. A lot of times it feels like it's working against you, but that is not the case. The grief, the emotion, the pain is working on you, and it is making you bigger, better, faster, stronger. So don't fight it. Allow yourself to go through it. What's next? Oh, and here's the thing. As you're allowing yourself to go through that grief, you're allowing the grief to work on you. Don't try to rush it. You cannot rush it because, again, it is working on you. And you don't want that work to get wrapped up half done. So surrender, allow yourself to go through that experience, learn from the experience, everything you're supposed to learn from it, and don't rush it. Okay? It is like cooking the perfect steak that is medium rare and pink throughout the center. If you take it off the grill too early, it's going to be a little too bloody. If you take it off too late, it's going to be too well done. Do not rush the process. Even if you feel like the fire is burning on you, do not rush it. Be brave, be faithful, and keep going. This is really, really important because we have to learn as we are going through life, or you're just going to keep making the same mistakes over and over and over again. And that, my friend, is the definition of insanity. Banging your head against that wall over and over again, thinking that you are going to get a different outcome when you are utilizing the same practices over and over again. That is not going to work. So you have to take the time to analyze what you have gone through. What happened? Can I figure out what went wrong? What mistakes did I make? What am I responsible for controlling? You have to figure that out. Because again, if you're going to continue down the path with the same actions and behaviors and thoughts and feelings and mindset that got you into that crappy situation, you're just going to keep repeating that crappy situation. We have to learn and evolve as humans, as leaders. It is our responsibility to be constantly learning and growing and evolving. So it's critical that you analyze your situation. You stop and take stock of everything that's happening around you and within you in order to figure out, how do I get from A to B? But you have to analyze your situation. You have to analyze what went wrong and what was I responsible for? And how can I change that behavior and be better tomorrow so that I am not repeating the same mistakes over and again? So don't go skipping over that. You are not perfect. I'm not perfect. No one is perfect. We can all grow and be better tomorrow. And it is your responsibility, leader, to make sure that you're doing exactly that. This one is massive. You have to find forgiveness. You have to find forgiveness for others that you feel have slighted you or wronged you or led you into the situation that you are in. And this is the most important part. You have to forgive yourself. You cannot beat yourself up over and over and over again, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year for mistakes that you made in the past. Because in that case, you're not really learning from the mistake and growing as a result of it. So you must forgive yourself for the mistakes that you have made that led you to being in the situation that you are in that makes you feel like you've lost everything. If you can't forgive yourself, I'm telling you right now, you will not move on. You will not change. You will not improve. You will not keep going past that situation. You will stay stuck in that situation in here and up here. You have to learn to forgive yourself for the human mistakes that you have made. And then you have to grow, having learned from those mistakes, and you got to keep going no matter what. You have to identify the personal behaviors and characteristics that you are going to change as a result of those learnings. As a result of that analysis, what have you figured out about yourself and your surroundings that you can change, that you must change in order to be better tomorrow, in order to not make the mistakes of yesterday tomorrow? Again, leaders have to evolve. We have to learn and we have to grow. So you have to figure out, what did I do in order to land myself in this situation? What of my behaviors, my characteristics, my thought process, my mindset can I change in order to get out of this hole that I put myself in, be better tomorrow, and avoid ever putting myself back in this situation? That's up to you to figure out, leader. But you have to identify those personal behaviors and those characteristics so that you can change them, or things aren't going to change. You're going to wind up in the same situation again. You have to reanalyze and recommit to your purpose. And you have to have laser focus on your purpose. You have to obsess over your purpose, and you have to find alignment within your purpose. So for me, my purpose is to build a kingdom for my tribe. And there are several layers to a kingdom, right? And so I have committed to building financial freedom for my kingdom, emotional and spiritual freedom for my kingdom, which means that I have to continue being a teacher to my tribe. I have to give them the knowledge that I am out earning every single day. The things that I discover within myself, I have to share them with my tribe so that not only do they have a better understanding of me and why I am the way that I am and why I think the way that I think, but I'm giving them tools to analyze themselves as well, because some of them could be going through the same growing pains that I'm going through, but they're unaware that they are not alone. And so it is really, really important that you share your purpose with your tribe. They have to know where you're going and why you are going there and how it affects them. But more than anything, you need to know. So you need to sit down. You need to write out your purpose if you have not done that already, so that you are reminding yourself why you're getting up and getting out of bed every morning and why you must keep going at all costs. It is your job to do that. No one can do that for you, leader. It is your job to understand your purpose and to commit to your purpose every single day. Focus on your purpose. Obsess on your purpose, why you believe you are on this planet. Just because you got knocked off the horse doesn't mean that your purpose was wrong. And it doesn't mean that it's impossible for you to accomplish your purpose. It's just not going to be easy. Anything that's worth having rarely is easy to obtain. You have to keep going. No one can do that for you. It is imperative that you ground yourself in prayer and meditation. And when it comes to prayer and meditation, stop seeking answers externally, because you're not going to find them there. All of the answers that you are looking for are within you. Okay, whether you are a religious person or a spiritual person, it does not matter. I'm telling you right now, the kingdom of heaven is right here. It is in you already. So you're looking externally for answers that you're not going to find because you're looking in the wrong place. All of the answers are in here. God is in here. The kingdom of God is in here. So all of your answers are in here. They're not externally. Okay, they're not external. All of the answers that you are looking for are internal. That's why I love grounding myself in meditation. Cut off all sound, all distractions, sit in peace and quiet and stillness and go in here. You are a king, you are a queen, you've got all the answers, you are fully capable. Stop depending on finding those answers outside of yourself. They are in here. And that doesn't mean you don't listen to other people and you don't lean on mentors and advisors. Absolutely. They're just adding tools to your toolkit. They're just adding more perspectives for you to consider as you are sitting in stillness and quiet and meditation. But you have to learn to go internal. You got to get rid of all of the distractions and the white noise. And you got to learn to start looking in here for the answers that you are seeking. Ground yourself in prayer and meditation. And when you are praying, again, realize that you shouldn't be praying externally, right? Like I can't look up into the sky and into the heavens and expect that I'm going to see the face of God when God has already told us that he's in here. So I have to look internally. So start putting yourself in that mindset when you pray and when you meditate that no, I'm not going outside. I'm going inside. That's where I'm going to find the answers. That's where the Holy Spirit is. That's where God lives. It's right in here. So stop looking externally for your answers and start looking for them within you. Because I'm telling you right now, they are there. Speaking of meditation, take control of your day first thing in the morning. As soon as you wake up, the first thing that I like to do, as soon as that alarm goes off, I turn the alarm off, I roll back to my back, I close my eyes, and I start focusing on gratitude. I am grateful that I woke up this morning. I'm grateful that I still have eyes that can see and ears that can hear. I am grateful that I can get out of bed on my own 2 feet and on my own 2 legs. I'm grateful that I still have hands and arms to hold my loved ones with because I've got friends that no longer have their extremities as a result of service to this country. I'm grateful there's a roof over my head. I'm grateful I had a bed to sleep in. I'm grateful for the food in my house. I'm grateful for the clothes and the shoes in my closet. I'm grateful that I can walk out into the kitchen and drink clean water at will. The first thing I do is ground myself in gratitude. And then I don't immediately go to music or thinking about work. No. I have to take control of my day and the energy of my day as soon as I wake up in the morning, because I need to set the pace for the rest of my day. If you are not taking control of your frequency first thing in the morning, you are not doing yourself a favor. If as soon as you get up out of bed in the morning, you allow yourself to start focusing on that grief or what went wrong, or, this is everything that I got to do today, you're just subscribing to that energy for the rest of the day. That's why I love morning routines. And I believe that deep meditation should absolutely be a part of the leader's morning routine. Meditate on your purpose and why you got up that morning, and why no matter what you face throughout the day, it will not stop you. Mindset is everything. It controls your reality. And your mindset is one of the only things that you really have control over, even in the darkest situations. Y'all, let me tell you, I have survived some very dark situations, some very dangerous situations throughout my time in the SEAL teams. Your mindset is the only thing that you really have control over. And here's the thing. When you learn how to control your mindset feeds your frequency and your vibration. And when your frequency and your vibration are high because of your mindset, everything happening externally has no choice but to conform to what you believe in your mindset. So again, meditation is critical. How you maintain your mindset is critical. It's one of the only things that you have control over. So even in a dark situation, you have control over how you are viewing that situation. Take control of your mindset. Your mindset matters. Obsess over having a mindset of growth and evolution, no matter what is happening, no matter how dire your situation seems to be. You got to create and execute on a plan. When everything feels like it's fallen apart and you've lost everything, you haven't lost your mindset. Sit down, analyze the situation, create a plan, and as soon as you finish creating that plan, get up and start executing on it immediately. Prioritize and execute and get the job done. But you sitting and wallowing in your sorrow and misery will not get you anywhere, nowhere at all. And if your plan doesn't work, that's okay. You've learned from it. You know what won't work. Iterate your plan and get back on it, get out there and execute. Again, just because you feel like a plan didn't work doesn't mean that plan wasn't working on you and for you. When you feel like things are falling apart, like to me, that's kind of like, I relate that to being in a really nasty gunfight overseas, like one of the nastiest gunfights I've ever survived. And I've survived some nasty gunfights, right? And I have a rule in a gunfight. If you can help it, you don't stand still. You give them moving targets, right? So no matter what, you have to get up and you got to keep moving. You got to keep maneuvering. You got to keep going. The goal is to outmaneuver the enemy faster than he can outmaneuver you. Can I flank the enemy faster than he can flank me? Can I come up with the idea and the way of flanking the enemy faster than he can come up with the idea and the way of flanking me? When you feel like shit's falling apart and you're losing everything, you're in a gunfight. Get up, keep moving, prioritize and execute so that you are not overcome by events. And remind yourself of your purpose every day. I can't stress this enough. You have to obsess over your purpose and over accomplishing your purpose. You have to obsess over it. You have to kill every distraction that gets in the way of your purpose. Things, bad habits, people, external noise. I have no problem with sitting in my home for a couple weeks straight without leaving because I am hyper focused on my purpose. Obsess over your purpose every single day. It's your reason for living, for Pete's sakes. So find your purpose and obsess over it every day and start first thing in the morning. I talked about focusing on gratitude. And so I'll just hit on it again briefly. Everyone, gratitude is everything. Again, you can focus on negative bullshit and what's going wrong and how everything's falling apart, and you can allow that to be your mindset and drive how you live your days, or you can actively focus on what's going right. Okay, yeah, that part of the plan didn't work, but guess what? I woke up this morning, so I'm still in the fight. I still got breath in my lungs so that I can sit down and iterate this plan, get back on the horse and keep going. Gratitude in here controls your mindset up here. And this is what allows you to keep going. It's easy to focus on what's falling apart and what's going wrong, but I'm telling you right now, do not do that. There's a silver lining in everything. There is balance in everything, in every situation. Even when a situation feels like it's as dark as it can get, there is light. You just have to find it. And you got to have the mindset that you will find it. Again, I'm not ignoring the darkness and everything that's going wrong, right? I'm only going to focus on what I can control. And you can control your mindset. And if there's darkness, I'm telling you right now, there's light to be found. Good, bad, up, down, within, without, yin, yang. There always has to be balance. You just got to go find it. Focus on your gratitude and you will. And lastly, live every single day, one moment at a time. I heard, I think it was don't quote me on this, but I think it was a Hindu saying that went something along the lines of, most of the stress that you feel is a result of you either living in the past or in the future. You're worried about something behind you, something that's already happened, or you're worried about what may take place in the future instead of you simply being present in right now. You have to focus on presence. All right. Build your plan, go out and execute your plan, and be present during every moment of that plan. Not every day, every moment. You got to break it down to a nuanced level, because some people make the mistake of allowing a moment that happened 5 minutes ago to affect how a moment right now is going to go down. But you can't do that. You have to separate all of those moments, and you got to learn to be present in this moment right now. And you can't allow a negative attitude to enter your brain from a moment that happened 30 minutes ago while you're dealing with this moment right now. Presence is critical. So live every day, one moment at a time. I hope that this helps. I hope that y'all have a great weekend. I love you. I'll talk to you soon.